What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video by Aviation Master 100. So today I'll be looking at the Battle of France and how it unfolded, and especially the air battle. So this was Germany's last country being attacked during the German invasion. Well, actually, except for Norway. And so Germany had just had invaded Poland, which only took a few weeks to invade, and believe it or not, with the help of the Russians actually. And then that kind of broke off, as World War II progressed. And then they had captured Belgium, the Netherlands, and Denmark. And so I'll show you here. So here's Germany, and they attacked Poland over here. Denmark, which is kind of north of Germany. Eventually Norway in 1942. And the Netherlands and Belgium. And now next on the list was France. So France had kind of expected, so they had lined up their troops because they heard of the invasion of Poland and all the rest of the and the rest of the European countries that were on the Allied side. And so they basically lined up their troops along the border, and they didn't line them up so much on the thick trees on their border, because number one, they didn't think that the Germans and their army with their tanks especially could get through that thick layer of trees near the on the borders. But however, France did have some fortresses that were guarding the border along with tank stoppers, and so they were defending kind of the area that didn't really have thick trees. And number two, it just really wasn't practical for their troops to be stationed kind of on that side. So they expected the Germans to come through, kind of the side where really there wasn't as much trees, and because they expected their tanks to not be able to get through that forest, but they expected wrong, because that's actually exactly where the Germans attacked. So they got their tanks through and kind of threw the French off. And most of their air force was like kind of strafed on the ground by the Luftwaffe during the invasion. However, there were some some air battles part. So I'll be looking at the French Air Force during the Battle of France. So let's look over to some of their planes that they had during this time. And you have to remember, the Luftwaffe was really well equipped with the best fighter planes, experience from 1937 during the Civil War of Spain. So let's take a look at the French Air Force. So this airplane right here that you see here is a Botez 6311, and this was a kind of a dedicated bomber killer slash. It was also a tactical reconnaissance aircraft, and it really wasn't that much of a high performance. The bombers would outrun it that it was trying to attack. And this airplane down here is a Curtiss Hawk P-30. This is a P-36 Hawk. This was built in the U.S. and exported to France. And the same people who built the P-40, which was actually just a Allison engine P-36. And this was actually kind of one of the better airplanes, the French Air Force, but it really still wouldn't kind of match up to the MU-109 of the Luftwaffe. And then this airplane right here is a MS-406, and this is a fighter of the French Air Force, and this was built in France along with the Botez. And this was a okay fighter, but it just didn't make the cut or the list of the best airplanes during World War II. It was kind of on the same ranking as the P-36. It was still kind of in that early phase. And then this airplane right here is a Block 152 fighter. And this was, kind of in the same rankings as the MS-406 and the P-36. It was kind of still at early monowing fighter age. And then this one is another block. So this is a 174. This was kind of in that attack light bomber role of airplanes, during this time. And this airplane that you see right here is this is a D-Witine D520, and this was really the best plane that the French Air Force really had in their inventory at this time. And then these two over here are also these are Bloch is MB 210s. And this was kind of a transport / light bomber, kind of in that role. And as you can see, it was kind of it was a 2-engine, kind of had a thin square fuselage. As you can see, it was armed with defense mechanisms, like machine guns, turrets, so it could defend itself. And then this airplane up here, as you see, it has twin tails and 2 engines. This was a Brie 693, and that was kind of a heavy fighter, in that role. It was also kind of used as a light bomber. So ultimately, the French Air Force was kind of surprised, and most of their stuff was either strafed on the ground or captured by the Germans before most of their airplanes could really get into the air. But however, the French Air Force would see little action over Dunkirk, along with the RAF, defending the troops on the beaches of Dunkirk. But what was really left of the French Air Force either became part of the VC French Air Force or was just, kind of flown to Great Britain, and kind of left aside. So that is about it for this video. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and tell all your friends about this, and, fellow history buffs. So once again, thank you for watching, and please subscribe and share. Thank you for watching.